Hi there, this is Aaron. Today is October the 31st. It's Halloween and it's day 18 of 2015 on the allotment. Well, this is my first day back on the allotment since August and it feels really good to be back on the plot. Of course, there is an awful lot of work waiting for me. As you can see, I'm making a recovery and things are all going along very, very smoothly. Thank you so much for everyone who's sent both me and my wife well wishes. We really, really appreciate it. It's Halloween and in many ways, I've really come back to a Halloween nightmare on this allotment because nothing's been done here. I've not been able to get here. Now, the doctor says I still can't do any heavy digging, so I can't dig things up. And I'm not allowed to do any muck spreading either. So I've got to take it easy, but there are some things that I can do, and that's why I'm here. But the main thing is I want to show you around. The first thing I want to show you is that the giant rhubarb is finally dying back. That really did me proud this year. As I pan round though, you can see what's really happening here. All of my potatoes are still in the ground and the doctor says that I can't dig them out yet. I can't lift the big containers. So it's going to be a few weeks before I can do this. I can take the weeds off, which is what I'm going to do. But we're still a little way away from my first potato reveal of the autumn. So we'll have to see what happens there. And what you can see here is a lovely little bed of marigolds. It's a shame that the onions and carrots that were in here are no more. But I have at least grown some lovely marigolds this year, just not the ones that I planted or where I planted them. Beyond that, that should have been my sunflowers. They obviously have come to nothing. But this all needs to be dug up. And so there's plenty of work to be done there. And as soon as I'm able to, I will get cracking. It is pretty though. Well, I have at least proved that I can grow a cucumber. There's one that we left behind. And it grew quite nicely outdoors. It's gone to seed now, of course. But I'm certainly going to stick with these burpless varieties because if I can grow a cucumber without even trying, that means that's a good variety. This is a sight I was expecting. This is my poor sweet corn. It did actually grow up, but of course it ran out of time because everything was so late. It's all been knocked over and it's been sort of got at by red deer. Now red deer do come through here and they've had all the juvenile sweet corn that I had, so I haven't had one sweet corn this year. But I have learned an awful lot from the experience, so I do feel much more confident about growing sweet corn next year. These are my beans. Now, everything as you'd expect has dried, but there is some good news here. These are the giganti beans, and they've started to dry out. And if you can see, I've got the big giganti beans here. Now I can dry these and put these into soups, so it's not a total dead loss. And there's quite a few here that I can do that with. I've also got my borlotti beans, and these have also dried. So I can pick these out and I can dry them. I can put them in casseroles, and of course I can also save them for next year. So again, this is quite good, and I've got quite a few borlotti beans. It seems that the beans that wanted to grow this year are the ones that I wanted to collect the seeds from, rather than the ones that I wanted to eat the actual beany part around it. So in actual fact, the way that things have worked out, that's not too bad. What I've also got are some dried runner beans. Now these are Scarlet Empire, although they look like Enorma, so maybe one of my Enorma did make it. These again I will dry, and these will be my seeds for next year. But it looks as if I did get some whoppers at some point. It's not all bad news, and there you see that I've actually had some really nice raspberries and are still getting raspberries, so there's a few there for me to pick and take home. The problem that I've had with these raspberries this year is that they block off access to the currants, Now, I don't know why it was planted this way, or if it was planted this way, because raspberries do sort of travel. But what actually I'm going to have to do is to dig all of these raspberries up from here and probably plant new ones along here. So I'm creating more of a gap so that I can get in to harvest my currants. So that's already a bit of a plan forming for next year. So I'm learning things, and that's good. Of course, today is Halloween, and today is obviously the day when people go out and grab their pumpkins and carve the biggest one. Now, for those of you that might remember, Chris Mazel was really kind to me and sent me some seeds from his really giant wheelbarrow-sized pumpkin. So I planted them, and obviously I was hoping for a whopper. Let's see what I've got. This is incredible. Dan grows bigger onions than I can grow a pumpkin this year. I mean, of course, I wasn't here to feed it. I wasn't here to look after it. For all I know, there may have been others that were bigger and that they went, but this is what I found when I got here. So this is my pumpkin for this year. Bit of a nightmare. There were lots of people that were very kind to me this year, and Tony sent me some seeds from one of his giant marrows, and they were growing to the size of an average Rottweiler. So let's see how I did. Well, it looks like a marrow and it's straight, but it's not quite the medal winner that I was hoping for. So both to Chris and to Tony, I'm so sorry guys, I really let you down with those. I appreciate you sending me the seeds. I think I'm just going to have to notch this one up to experience, and I'll try again next year. One of the things I have found, this is a giant beetroot. This is a golden beetroot. Now, I'm sure that this is going to be too woody to eat, but they're absolutely beautiful with the red at the bottom and then the yellow at the top. This is absolutely lovely. I will take it home, but I'm expecting this to be really woody. It happens to everyone. This isn't another variety of marrow. This is actually a courgette, and it's a courgette that stayed on the plant for too long and has had delusions of grandeur, and so it's really grown. So that is bringing us to the end of the day now. This has been my reconnaissance, looking around, and it's not all bad news. There is digging that needs to be done, there's weeds to be pulled out, there's grass that needs to be cut. So over the next few weeks and over the winter, I'm going to start to get cracking on that. I have got a plan forming about next year, because I've learned an awful lot about the soil this year, even though I wasn't here for the actual harvest, and I haven't got that much off of the plot this year. But I think I've learned a lot, and as long as I put it all into good practice, then I think I'm going to have a really good year next year. I'm going to be videoing my progress, so if this was interesting for you, then please join us on the journey. And it really does give me great pleasure to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time on The Allotment. Goodbye.